Hey everybody, this is Tammy at All About Living, and today we are going to try to make flat iron steaks. Now traditionally they're kind of tough. They have really good flavor, but sometimes they're kind of chewy. So I've found a way that works most of the time. I mean, there are exceptions to every rule, but if we have these, this is the way I do it, and they're generally pretty good. But the reason I bought them is they were $4.13 a steak. Now, I can live with that. I cannot live with $20 a steak. So we're going to make this work. We're going to have flat iron steaks with mushrooms and garlic, and it's going to be so good, so good. And then as a side dish, we're going to have potatoes and onions. So let's get to it. Okay, for the flat iron steaks, we're going to need 2 flat iron steaks, some minced garlic, some baby bella mushrooms, some beef broth, some olive oil, and butter. That's it. Or salt. Well, no, I'm lying. Salt and pepper. You know you got to have salt and pepper and everything. So that's kind of a bonus. That's all you need. Now I'll show you what you need for the potatoes. Now for the potatoes and onions, you're going to need potatoes. Roughly 4 potatoes and an onion. Salt, pepper, olive oil, butter. Same. Can't get no easier than that. Alright, we're going to get started with the potatoes first, because they're going to take longer than the steak meal. So let's get started on those. Alright, we're going to get this onion cut up. Don't throw those onion peels away. Save them. Stick them in your freezer in a bread bag or a Ziploc. We're going to do something with those in just another week or so. We're just going to cut this like right straight down the middle. Big nice chunks. Potatoes. These potatoes weren't in the best shape, so we're going to have to cut some of it off. I did wash them good, but they're not the prettiest taters in town. And we're going to cut those just like that. Move it out of the way. I'll drop that off because that didn't look like anything I want to eat, so we're going to pull those off. Oh, and I'm leaving the skin on. These are gold potatoes, that pretty gold. Their skin is just fine. I'm not cutting that off. We're going to eat it. If you had a russet or something, where it's got, where it's really thick, I would take it off. But Yukon Golds and red potatoes, we always leave the skin on. Okay, now we're going to go over to the pan and get it hot. And we're going to light her up. Yep. We're going to get that on a right at medium flame. We're going to set that pot on there. We're going to let that pot get good and hot. Good and hot. Okay, we're going to put about 3 tablespoons of olive oil in there. And you see how hot my pan is? I got ripples. That's what you're looking for. You want that pan hot, because if you don't, you're going to spend the rest of the night cleaning that potato out of there. A good tablespoonful of butter. Hear that sizzle? That means that pan was right. Okay, now we're going to put our potatoes and our onions right on in there carefully, because that grease and butter is hot. We're just going to put it all in there, all at one time. We're going to add our salt. I'm probably putting a good teaspoon in there. And peppercorn. We like a lot of pepper, so, and this grinder is not the best. I don't suggest a body of grinder. That thing is so hard to use. Now we're just gonna let that fry, and do not stir, because you want those bottom ones to get a good crust before you try to pull them up off that cast iron. If they're not ready to flip, then they're gonna stick, no matter what you do. Just saying. Okay, the first thing we're gonna do is turn this eye on high. Oops. For our meat, we want it high. Now we're gonna come over here to the cutting board, and I'm gonna cut it and get it seasoned. Okay, we're gonna take this meat out. Do not try to take this out of the refrigerator and throw it in a hot pan. You cannot do it. It will seize and it will be extremely tough. It needs to be room temperature. Just leave it out a couple of hours before you're going to cook it. Let it come up to room temperature, and then you should be fine. Alright, so now we're going to take it out. We're going to, as soon as this pan gets good and hot, we're going to add our oil, and then we'll drop them. But first, we're going to put salt and pepper on them. We're just going to, and salt's all relative. It's how much you like. That's how much I like it. I pat it down in there. I go ahead and pepper. I pat that down in there. I flip it. I salt the backside. You don't have to go crazy unless you really like salt. Put our pepper on there. And now we're going to go check that pan and see if it's hot. Okay, my pan is good and hot. Put this olive oil in here. Just about a tablespoon and a half. I'm going to make sure it's all over my pan. See that? How it's smoking and got the waves? That means it's hot enough. And we're going to drop those steaks. There we go. And we're just going to cook them a couple of minutes on each side. We're not cooking them all the way through. You know, unless you like really well done meat, but we like it medium to medium rare. So just a couple minutes on each side, and then we're going to take them off the heat. Okay, while that steak is sizzling away, we're going to come over here and cut these mushrooms about like, you know, thick. So like 3. Okay, we just want them thick. Just a nice thick cut. If it's a small one like that, just cut it in half. That's it. Now, we're going to pull those steaks, okay? My 2 minutes are up. I'm going to flip it. It's got a nice brown little coat on the bottom. And we're going to do that. We're going to let that sit another 2 minutes, and then we're going to bring those back to the cutting board and let them rest and cool just a little bit. Okay, and we're going to check these now. Oh yeah, now they can be flipped. See there? See if we can show you one. Yep, when they're looking like that, then we can flip. And we're sure that we won't spend 30 minutes cleaning that frying pan after we're done. Now we're just going to let them keep sitting there and cooking. Okay. I've got a good browning on the bottom side. Now I'm going to take those out and I'm going to set them over here. Okay, you get my second one over here. All right. Now we're going to take our butter and our minced onion. We're going to take about 2.5 tablespoons of butter. And we're going to put a whole teaspoon of garlic. Oh, fragrant garlic. And see how dark my butter got? We're going to get this turned down now to a medium. Look at there. I just about burned it. Alright, we're going to get these mushrooms in here. Alright. We're going to put our beef broth. We're going to put, I made a whole cup, but I really don't think I need that much. I think I'm just going to put like a half a cup in here. Yep. And we're going to pull those little steak bits up off the bottom of this pan. And we're just going to let those cook. Oops, I didn't cut that one, huh? There we go, now it's cut. Alright. Okay, now we're going to cut across the grain, and we're going to in really small slices like you would if you were doing a fajita. See, it's still got a really good, nice red line in there. That's what we want. That's what we're looking for. We're going to flip these potatoes again. Look at there. See? Nice and brown. Every potato doesn't have to look like that, but because you want some soft and some crunchy. Try to get the ones that aren't cooked on the bottom. There we go. Okay, now we're going to pour all that juice and all that goodness and our steak back in there.
Second roll on the meat. I want it.
Yeah. Randy says 2-second rule on the meat. He gets it.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be, yeah, it's gonna be real good, huh?
Okay. All we're doing with that meat, putting it back in there, is just letting it heat up. That's all. Now, unless you like your meat doner. Is doner a word? It's probably not a word. If you would like your meat more well done, then leave it in the pan. But I, right now, am going to turn off that eye. It is perfectly fine with me. Okay, we're just going to turn this again. Trying to get all of them done. See, like that one's not done. That one's almost done. Yeah, but you want all your potatoes cooked all the way through. So you just have to keep moving them around till you don't get one that's like that. Okay, we're going to keep right on flipping these around and get those that aren't quite done down to the bottom. See how that one got really toasty brown. But that's okay, that's Randy's favorite one. Alright, our potatoes, this is the last turn. They are done. They are brown. They didn't stick to my pan. Everything is golden and coming up roses, and we're going to turn that off, and we're going to plate up dinner. Okay, we're going to plate this up. Dinner is done. We're going to start with the potatoes. We're going to get a good, healthy amount of potatoes. And onions. And then we're going to come over here. And we're going to get our beef and our mushrooms. And we're going to pour a little bit of that au jus on those potatoes. And dinner is done. And your dinner is done between 30 and 40 minutes. If you set all your ingredients out and you do it just like I told you and start the potatoes and onions first, then get your steak started, they should get done roughly the same time. And they think you slaved all day. It's delicious, it's easy, it's minimal ingredients. Okay, thank y'all for coming to my kitchen tonight. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you try it and come back and see us. Well, I'm sure we'll be cooking up something later. Like, subscribe, share. Come back and see me. Bye.